Now, after you've been able to agree and decide where you want to play in, how you want to go about it, you need to now have a plan of action. It doesn't make sense if you say you want to get an HR role, you narrow down into the various areas of HR you want to develop in, and you don't have a plan. It means you want to go from point A to point B. You want to get an HR job, no issues. But the question is this: what's your plan? Or you're currently doing HR and you want to go higher in HR. You need to ask yourself the question: how do I get from point A to point B? What do I need to do now that will take me to where I want to get to? So, for individuals that are just starting out or trying to get into HR, whether fresh or currently doing HR or currently transiting from a chemical engineering role, a customer service role or related role, there's a need for you to recraft your CV. And when you're recrafting your CV, you need to think about what we call transferable skills. When we say transferable skills, we are saying, what are the skills that you have before now that will be useful to the HR role? So if I pick customer service, for example, a customer service person is already used to doing relationship management. And relationship management is a critical skills required for the HR person. How do I mean? There's what we call employee relations in HR. So if I am already a customer service person and I want to get into human resources, I need to be able to make my customer relationship skills relevant to HR, because you are already helping people to solve problems. As a matter of fact, HR is one in employee relations, is the chief customer service officer for employees. The only difference is that their own customers are internal, which is the employees. So if you are coming from an accounting role, for example, you're currently doing accounting and you want to get into HR, the first transferable skills I would say would work more for you is your analytical skills, your ability to do numbers. You're already used to doing accounting books. You're already good to doing financial statement. A very critical part of HR that you fit in perfectly will be compensation and benefit, will be payroll management. As a matter of fact, most of the very good compound men people I've met are formal accountants or engineering people that are already used to crunching numbers. Ability to get into HR and blend into compound ben, blend into payroll becomes very easy for them, simply because they're already doing it. So you must think transferable skills. Also, why creating a line of action is that you must take HR trainings. I cannot say this enough. I want to commend every one of us in this class today, and why I'm sure that's one of the reasons why we are here, and that was one of the reasons why we are creating a forum for people to build a career in HR. You need to take trainings. You need to do certification. CIPM is there. As a matter of fact, there was a time when I was applying for my role. I said I read chemical engineering, and I went to a certain interview, and what got me that interview was the fact that I was writing CIPM. So I knew I had BSc chemical engineering. I need the foot in an HR job. So all I needed to do was to enroll for the Chartered Institute of Personnel Managers. As at the time I was doing that interview, I think I should be in either P1 or P2 at that time. So while they were looking through my CV and the hiring manager was saying, but you read chemical engineering. She now scrolled back into my CV and saw that I was doing CIPM. She now smiled. I said, good, God just saved you. She said it jokingly, but the reality is this. Why would you say you want to do HR and you're not taking HR trainings? Do you know that when you go for some of those trainings, you will meet individuals, you'll be able to network with people that can be able to vouch for you. As a matter of fact, it is easier for people to give you a chance on an HR job when they have known you or when they've had an experience with you or somebody is referring you than when they don't know you at all. It's more challenging for me to take a bet. If I go through your CV and I can't see any HR training, I can't see any certification, I can't see anything pointing to me that this person is ready for HR. I ask you the question, what is human resources? You're blank. You need to equip yourself. This is the time for you to have a course of action, to attend trainings. Unfortunately, we have a few trainings on our portal that is free. We have some on building a career in human resources, which is free, and some other ones which I will share with us in a couple of mean it as well. So you need to take HR trainings, is very critical. Then you need to build genuine relationships with people. I know after we're done with this class, a few emails are going to drop in our email box. A few personal messages are going to come to me asking me for how do I build a career? I want you to be my mentor. I want you to do this. I want to do internship and all the other things. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but I'm saying you need to be genuine in your relationship. You don't network with somebody because of the job. As a matter of fact, there's so many LinkedIn messages sitting in my inbox now that I would not reply till tomorrow or till next year, simply because you send an invite on LinkedIn and the very first message you are sending to me or to any other recruiter or any other person you connect with is that you're looking for a job in HR. Most of those messages, I see them, but I don't get to reply. But I want to tell you that one of the individuals, or a few of the individuals that I've kept contact with till tomorrow, as a matter of fact, one of such individual invited us to a corporate retreat earlier in the year. And I never knew that she was an individual I interviewed about 3-4 years ago. At that time, I was moving from one organization to another, and I needed to replace my role within that organization. So I did an interview for HR. And I never knew I met that lady in that interview. And I told her that she didn't finally get that job, but I gave her a feedback at that time. I said, I'm moving on. Management has not taken a decision. It's not the end of the world. Keep hope alive. Imagine my joy and shock that this year, that lady reached out to our organization to come and facilitate a corporate retreat for them. And she didn't even tell me at that point. She told me in the corporate retreat after we have even finished. And she had to tell everybody in the room that I met him so and so years at an interview session. What a shocker place to meet people. People go for interviews and they become friends. As a matter of fact, most of the roles and the referrals we've had as an organization come from referrals. A certain individual many years ago, I was the person looking for the job. He was the interviewer. I didn't get the job. We moved on. As a matter of fact, I've lost count of how many things he has referred me to after that singular time. There are so many projects I've had cause to do as an individual, as an organization, that he referred me simply because of genuine relationship. An interesting thing is this: you may not be able to do this alone. You may need people to walk you through. And while building the relationship, do not be desperate. I know that this is where the critical point comes in, because you've been trying to get a job in HR, you've been trying to transit into HR. I understand the frustration. I have been there before. As a matter of fact, I have lost my job 3 times in my career. The first time I lost my job was 3 months to my wedding. And another time I lost my job was when I moved into a new role. The one I got after losing my job before my wedding, I got another one and I lost it again immediately I was done with the wedding. So I've been there before. I've been in positions where I feel I don't have a choice. But it's a lie. It's a deception that you don't have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice to be enthusiastic. You have a choice not to be depressed. As a matter of fact, we've had a very not too good situation. There was a certain man that went for an interview. It was clearly obvious that this was shared by a senior colleague. It was clearly obvious that the guy is the best guy for the role. But alas, at the final stage when they said, do you have a question for us? The young man was not young at that time. He was married. He prostrated on the floor and started to beg the panel, saying he has a family at home. He's been out of job for X number of time, X number of days, months, and he needs this job. He showed his desperation. I don't need to tell you the end of that interview. He was not picked simply because he was showing desperation. Even if you are desperate, hide that desperation. Don't let it be obvious. You need the job. No doubt, you need the job. Don't show it. As a matter of fact, there are many clients I walk away from simply because I don't want them to think that I'm desperate. You give them the fee and they tell you what they're going to collect. You give them an impression that you don't need it. I need it, but I don't need to show it, because that's the principle. Have you ever asked yourself that the rich people go after the rich people? Have you ever asked, why do rich people why are rich people friends to each other? Simply because they have a sense of connection. If a Dangote is doing an event, the last time Dangote did his wedding, Hanotedola went to be usher at Bill Gates' table, simply because he wanted to show him value. He was not asking Bill Gates for money, but because of that singular act, if Bill Gates need anything, he is visible in Bill Gates' mind, and he can ask a question. So you don't need to be desperate. And interestingly, I think that I'm almost done. So what's the next move? Or before I ask for the next move. So we know that the time that we have is not sufficient to get this done. So this is what we have in mind. One, a one-on-one coaching session. So I know individuals have peculiar needs. So I'm still going to take questions in the next couple of minutes. I know each individual has different peculiar needs. So we're opening up the opportunity to have a one-on-one session with myself, where I can walk you through a personal career journey or a personal developmental plan, taking you from wherever you are now, taking you to where you want to get to. That's available. Then secondly, we are launching a course called Human Resources for Beginners. It's going to be an online course. It's currently in beta phase on the website. I'm going to show it to us in a few minutes. Then you can go there and be able to pick that course. Is going to be subsidized at a ridiculous price and available for us. Then also we have an HR Academy. An HR Academy is what we created in February when we had the physical class. We created an HR Academy and we admitted the first set of people into the academy. And the whole idea is that we get a lot of requests of people that want to build a career in HR. So we said, can we do a sort of a 3-month plan for them, where we'll have contact on a weekly basis, twice in a month, kind of physical session, 3 hours for each of the sessions, such that we can be able to take them through the rudiments of building a career in HR, take them through the fundamental areas. If you want to build either functional areas in HR, you want to become a comp and ben expert, that's one of my areas. We have courses we do in that area. You want to become an analytics guru or expert, we do things in that area. We can take you through that entire process and build you up. But at the moment, the enrollment for the academy is not open because the individuals in the academy at the moment are on scholarship, and their session is not going to be over until the next 2 months before we can make that open. But the one-on-one session is open. The Human Resources Academy is open. If you have any question on this, you can send us an email at academy@crescitahcl.com. We will drop that. And we would also still get a follow-up email with some of the conversations we've had today. So I'm going to take a pause right about now